Welcome back. When a factory in Cornubia, Durban, went up in flames in July, nothing could prepare residents for what came next. Toxic fumes filled the air for over a week after the blaze. Residents are now demanding a panel of medical experts assess possible health risks to those exposed. Tracy-Lynn Field from the Center for Environmental Rights joins me now live for more on this. Tracy-Lynn, thanks for your time. So just how bad is the pollution in this area? Give us an idea of how things are there.
I was in the area on Saturday for a public meeting that the Civil Society Action Group organized. And on the face of it, things look like they're back to normal. But we must remember that this fire smoldered for about 12 days, sending very toxic chemicals up into the air. And those have dispersed over the soil and water and, of course, in the Oshlanga River and that estuarine and marine environment, the chemicals are still at large, as it were.
Yeah. Have any residents reported any illnesses to date? So
the word that we have, and so the problem that we're facing, Shahan, is that there is a lack of information. We are aware of anecdotal reports, but there has not yet been a health monitoring structure put in place where we can have reliable scientific evidence to say that, these are the symptoms that people are experiencing. So everything at the moment that's coming to civil society is anecdotal, which is concerning because the chemicals that went up into the atmosphere and soil and water were, some of them are extremely dangerous.
Yeah. So residents, of course, are demanding independent doctors and medical specialists be brought in. Just tell us more about how they want this to unfold.
Well, the model that is unfolding now is that the company has appointed a number of specialists, about 10 in fact, and they include health specialists, but these are risk assessors rather than medical practitioners as such. And their reports and some of the reports and some of the samples have been reported to the National Portfolio Committee, are available, but they're not in the public domain. And they're going to be reviewed by government officials, but none of it is out there yet. So in this information vacuum, people are obviously asking questions like, how bad is this? What was I breathing in when I stood on Cornubia Bridge that was irritating my throat and burning my throat? So they are asking for an independent panel of doctors. Realistically, I think the response is going to come from the provincial Department of Health that is trying to put a structure in place of monitoring, long-term monitoring. The immediate short-term concern is pregnancy outcomes and then neurological effects in children and then vulnerable demographic groups like the elderly and people with asthma and compromised respiratory systems. So that's the immediate concern. So we need the Provincial Department of Health to step up and put the structure in place urgently.
And the company involved here, we know that there are many companies in Durban that are often, accused of not adhering to policies around environmental concerns as well as pollution, etc. Have you reached out to them? Have they explained themselves about the toxic fumes that we saw emerge in July?
The company was invited to the public meeting on Saturday, but declined the request and referred us to their complaints procedure. They have reported to the portfolio committee, but they've been largely absent from the public eye. And we also want to keep on the agenda the real estate trust, Fortress, that leased this property to UPL. Because we believe they're also accountable for the risk that was created by the site.
And what about government's role in this? Is it doing enough to actually hold these companies accountable at all? Because we see it happening time and time again. We've heard these concerns from residents of even Merebank in Durban, talking about them being sick constantly because of the pollution. But have we seen any movement in terms of government enforcing the rules when it comes to pollution, etc.?
I think government is trying. As you might have heard, the provincial department responsible for economic affairs have laid criminal charges against the company. So they are trying, but the problem is that we feel that the system doesn't adapt quickly enough because these, as you point out, these incidents have happened before. And We're dealing with an emergency response that was clearly inadequate, and now the system in place to monitor the long-term impacts is also sort of hobbling along. So we really do need these systems to respond quicker, but more than that, we need to know where these chemicals are being stored. So this is possibly South Africa's Seveso moment. And I do believe that there was a proposal on their table a couple of years ago to really improve our chemicals management. But it's now time for us to demand knowing where these chemicals are, when they're transported, clear risk management procedures in place, because not even the authorities seem to know that so many chemicals were being stored in this warehouse.
Yeah, it's absolutely shocking. Thank you so much for your time. That was Tracy-Lynn Field from the Centre for Environmental Rights.